Welcome back everyone. Here we have ItsTicker playing The Simpsons on New Game Plus. First thing I'd like to do is just quickly read out a donation we have from Phantom 5800, our previous runner. For all the bad fish, £30, thank you for that, much appreciated. And ItsTicker, if you want to take it away, pal.
Alright, so we'll start in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so this is the Simpsons game. Category I'm playing is NG+, so we'll start with why I'm playing NG+, instead of any percent. Any percent essentially has an hour of cutscenes, and that isn't really fun to watch, showcase the run. So that's the reason I'm on NG+. So now to things I'll be doing throughout the speedrun. At the start there you would have seen me do a triple jump. That's one of the main speedrunning mechanics that I'll be using throughout the run. Essentially what you do is you use the aim button with Homer, or like any character, and you jump, and then there'll be this frame which you can jump again. You can do another double jump. The other mechanic will be slope jumping up things, like so. You can jump up slopes infinitely, really. But the ones that we did were just simple start. And now we have this 40-second auto-scroller as Homer already started the run. Homer's kind of in like a dream type thing where he's eating bunnies and stuff, and then he realizes he's dreaming, and unfortunately he doesn't get to be in a chocolate utopia. But pretty funny start. Good way to introduce the game in a dream filled with chocolate stuff. But here we have the introduction of the two-player mechanic, because I was only using Homer in the tutorial level. Now we are introduced to using two of the Simpsons characters. And essentially they'll just follow you around, and you switch them to do different stuff. Here you can just do a triple jump and skip the button there. That's pretty neat. And do another double jump. Alright, it's a good start. And here, yeah, if you stay on a button, for example, Homer will just come automatically and follow. So here what I'm going to do is a dino triple jump. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip this trigger here, where it moves the dinosaur up and down, and then do this triple jump over here. And you can skip using Homer to get through the level, and essentially do this whole level as fast as you can.
So how long have you been playing this game for?
I played it a bit for like blind runners, like when the blind runners thing came out, which is like you play through the game blind, and then I learnt the game in like November. It's been pretty fun. Easy game to pick up, I think.
Nice. Is it available on other platforms?
It's available on Xbox 360 and PS3 for new gen. But like there's a different version, like old gen just PS2 and Wii, but it's like a completely different game almost, like in terms of how it functions. So the speedrun would be quite different. And then there's the PSP and DS version. PSP is more like the PS2 and Wii version, and DS is like its own version where it's like a 2D platformer. A bit hard to explain. There's so many versions they made. across the consoles. But what I did there was use a robo-bar to hit the targets. It's pretty casually, but something important to note is that you're invincible when you get the power-ups, which is quite nice, and you get like pretty OP abilities usually, like Bart's laser things are pretty useful, one-shots enemies. Uh, 80 bytes. This is actually a very cool level. Essentially, you use Homo the entire level for like a minute, and just Homo Ball might be one of the most broken things in this game, casually and in speedrunning, because you just go so fast everywhere. And you can like Homo Ball to spots where you shouldn't be able to get to, such as this level. You can just Homo Ball over there, and you're already at the end of the level. It's just you Homo Ball this statue and it's done. So, very cool. And Homer's doing this eating contest thing, he just cheats at the Homer Ball. And this is currently a good start for me at the moment. Like, minus 37 on PB, which is very rare. Usually I stuff up something.
Let's go, new PB hype.
There's a lot to go. There's a lot of skips in this level. You can wall jump on this wall and get to the lever without having to use Lisa's hand. Yeah, there's a lot of slopes you can climb up. Lisa the Tree Hugger has a very cool out of bounds in it as well, which is coming up very shortly. But we'll just wait for Lisa to get to the button, hopefully.
Awesome, we just had a £10 donation in from Slatermine2049, £10, saying you got this ticker, easy PB.
Hopefully. Damn, you're getting close to the goal for the marathon. It's like £3,500 from the looks of it.
Our original goal was 2,500 and people kept meeting it, so we kept increasing it. So let's go, let's try and get 3,500 by end of the marathon.
Damn. That's pretty good. Solid effort. So here is where the cool stuff starts. You can jump on this lever and jump over here. And this is like, that lever essentially loads the area. So without it, like, area isn't loaded. And you can do some pretty weird out of bounds stuff by going over here and wall jumping on this invisible wall, which is a slope. And you do some of these bar jumps and you're out of bounds. Pretty simple. And you can skip this whole water section and simply, and like a cutscene and stuff as well, and jump up here, and you just go and hit the target at the end, and that's the level done. Very fast level as well, considering how much you have to do and how much you skip. Mob rules as well is also very fascinating, because usually, casually, you're just controlling the mob and destroying things, because Marge doesn't like Grand Theft Scratchy, violent video game stuff. But we don't destroy much. We only destroy like a few things at the beginning to like get access to some platforms. We stack them up and we go out of bounds. It's a little finicky, but you can do it pretty fast with the correct setup. Also, NG Plus also has the advantage of infinite energy because you collect all the collectibles, which gives you the ability. So these things I'm destroying. Okay, what's going on? Yeah, they give us the platforms we need to go out of bounds. So if I do this right, which it looks like. Let's see. This second piece is the most important. Come on. It's gotta stay. Okay. That's a little jank. Let's see if I can get up here. Alright. This might take me a few tries because of how awful position that second piece is. Come on.
You can't come back here because it's going to be a surprise party for you, but it isn't ready yet. Yeah, that's it.
You'd like to come back here? I'd like to go to sleep. Neither one's going to happen, okay?
Come on. There we go. That took a little bit. That's fine. And you can just skip the entire level by doing that. Because at the end, you're able to fall down the map, and the final part you do is Maggie by going to the vent. But instead you can use any character, and you can just activate them from the outside here. Come on. It's a little finicky, but sometimes it doesn't want to register your input, but that's fun. Come on. Oh my god, I fell out of the map. It's not registering my input. It's fine. It puts you out of bounds again, so it's not much time loss. There we go. And that's mob rules. Just skip most level.
Very fast-paced game is this.
It can be very fast-paced, but sometimes tricks are very hard to get.
And would you say the game has a lot of RNG-based heavy mechanics?
Not necessarily. I'd say more just some stuff is very hard to hit. The only really RNG aspect, I'd say, is with the flag stuff and Medal of Honor. And, like, your character's movement. This is the level where, essentially, EA make fun of themselves the entire level. There's a lot of cool references. And yes, we're chasing Frank, who's been kidnapped by the Giant Ape. Because storyline. That's not good, come on. Oh yeah, something I should mention. It doesn't specify anywhere, but when you use Lisa's Buddha hand, you can actually speed up / slow down her Buddha hand by pressing the bumpers while you move around. Kind of weird how they don't specify it anywhere, but Very cool thing to know. Okay, I don't get that. That's fine. And that becomes, and the Buddha hand becomes important later on in Day of the Dolphin when we want to one cycle the boss there. But we'll get to that soon. So this is the blood room. I do a little easier thing where I use Lisa. Okay. And I fall off them. Where I use Lisa for this level. Well, that's part of the level. But you could actually do a set of triple jumps to the bar. And skip the platforming here. But it's very hard. For me, anyway.
Fighting is poetry, and poetry is bad.
When you mess with the best.
Here we get access to Lisa's saxophone, which is like an upgrade ability, which is very useful because it stuns enemies and makes them fight on your side. And for enemies such as this, where they can be brutal at times, like the full players can just tackle you into the blood and goo, and it's not fun. Just zapping them with the saxophone is very useful. Especially because you can very easily die if you're not careful.
Sorry, you're being cut in training camp.
So here, we're just doing the thing casually where just shoot, rip off Sonic into the goo. There's also other characters like rip off Mario and Koopa there. I think Mario stuff. I don't know what you call them. I don't play Mario.
Somebody call Petbusters. Maybe marketing money should go into making better games.
So, you know what? I'm going to do the skip here. With platforms. Or attempt it at least. So you can zip line up here. And skip the going up the platforms which zap like down there. And then you come across here. This is just the casual stuff. And these things will stomp you if you're not careful.
Only just show cutscenes and commercials.
I'm going to put Bart here and he'll stay while I go grab Lisa. And usually what you want to do is place like platforms on top of those towers and it'll allow Bart to zipline between them. So you're interchanging between Bart and Lisa usually. But what I'm going to attempt is the 2 double jumps, which are pretty precise. And I missed it. That's fine. Hopefully I don't die. I can try it again. I'll probably just do it casually. I want to see if I can show it off. Okay.
Marketing guys are why video game magazines are so terrible.
So these are the zappy platforms you got casually. And they're pretty annoying. No, I'll go for it one more time. Why not? Come on.
Take intensity to the extreme.
Okay, nice. No, I'll just do it. That's the 2 precise double jumps, which I'm not very good at. I could sometimes get them, but oh well.
The concept of utopia is indistinguishable.
I'll
from
just
its
do the
reality.
casual way. I'll put Bart here, and I'll place these 2 platforms down. yeah, you just zip line in between them. It's a little slower, but it is what it is. It's much safer. You're guaranteed, essentially, to make the lever. So once I get the lever, I'm going to be switching to Lisa, just because Bart's a little bit closer to the buttons. I'm doing the thing where I use her sax ability to zap things, so I don't hopefully die at the end.
Come on, let's win one for the Gipper.
So this room has a pretty cool skip. Instead of using the zip line there, you can wall jump up with Lisa. Yeah, take a couple tries apparently. Come
So
on.
would you say each character has a unique ability like this?
What type of unique ability?
Like Lisa can do the wall jumping like that. Is there like other characters that can only do a specific ability? Glitch?
No, they can all do that wall jump. It's just the reason I use Lisa here is because I need her for the Buddha thing. Her Buddha
Right.
power. And it just skips using Bart really.
Create your own reality.
Every character should have the ability to do wall jumps. Some are a bit more finicky than others. Different characters have different animations.
I can also imagine it's to do with hitbox size as well.
Yeah, like it's a little bit different if like Lisa has a saxophone out. Like you can still do wall jumps and stuff, but like you're just a tiny bit further from the wall for slope jumping.
Be sure to purchase lots of sports crap.
So here I'm using Lisa's fling power just to destroy the enemies. This is an NG Plus exclusive thing, because you can this energy, but this is just much easier to do. The alternative is using Robo-Bar by breaking these boxes and just killing the enemies normally. But this is just much easier. It makes it kind of an auto-scroller, easy auto-scroller.
Take extremity.
And essentially just killing a certain amount of enemies until the ape walks forward. I'm unsure if it's on like a timer or... I think it's enemy based, yeah, it's enemy based. I'm pretty sure. And that's the end of Cheat Tricks, a bit of an annoying level. So I'd say it's one of the hardest levels in the game to learn and get down fast. I need Lisa here. Along with this level is hard, like very hard to do optimally. But I'm gonna do some like casual strats for this, coupled with some fast stuff. And bring Bart there. Hopefully he doesn't come back. Alright, nice. That won't soft lock. There's a soft lock there if you're not careful. You could go ahead with Lisa and Bart just stays in the rope. I've had that happen a few times, which is why I bring Bart forward first. Because well-designed AI. Just placing the platforms down there. Probably need to pick up Bart, yeah. And now, probably the only one of the two things I do that is interesting in this level is you can skip having to use the butter hand to destroy this thing by jumping across onto this log. And then you just zip line across. You can also jump into that boat kind of and do a kind of precise jump onto this, but the collision for some stuff is a bit too finicky. Like you can just slide off stuff. It's not really consistent. It's precise collision that you need to jump on. Just hoping Bart doesn't die here. And what I do is I switch to him only for this part to hit the target with Bart. And I quickly switch to Lisa, and this is an example of me using the fast butter hand just to make sure I get the one cycle where Dolphin doesn't jump up again. You have to like wait for Robobot. Here we have a Colossal Donut, and you can use Homer's burp ability just to burp through and hit the collision at the back of a Lard Lad. Makes this level so much easier, rather than just doing some weird stuff and just YOLOing it.
I can't hurt him, he's too awesome!
But yeah, just using Homer's burp and getting rid of Lard Lad's stuff behind his back to finish off this fire. This is probably the really only interesting thing about this. You can get the third one by jumping up from a higher place like this fence. And then you like have to like slope jump up Lard Lad's body, which is a little hard to do for me. Oh, there we go. And you quickly take out Lard Lad. Which is pretty cool, because casually that used to take me forever. Now, this is the level where you start noticing a lot of enemies. For some reason, they decided let's spawn an absurd amount of enemies. And you can easily die. Like, Bart just continuously dies while Homer flips some levels for him. He's probably gonna die here. But yeah, flip this level. Which means I'll have to wait a little bit. Oh, it's just gonna continue dying. Okay. It's a little frustrating. So as you can see, all chill here, and then you just go back to Bart and he's just getting owned by everything.
Do I look fat today? Because I feel bloated. Prepare to be conquered by us.
Yeah, just so many enemies. On the older consoles, it's not like you won't see this many enemies because they're like weaker consoles, obviously, and they probably wouldn't be able to handle it. So it's like probably like 4 or 5 at most they can handle, which is really funny.
Pressure pads, my favorite
2 extremes instead of like just a balanced enemy set.
Great, more 70s nostalgia.
So here I use Homer's burp ability to just take them all out. In any percent you wouldn't have this luxury, but and it's such a pain any percent. You're just using Bart's slingshot, it's so slow, and there's a good chance of like dying if you're not careful. The aliens in that spaceship can be very brutal and mean. Yeah, we've entered the alien spaceship where Cletus was aliens were checking stuff. Let's just say that.
We will harvest
We'll leave it at that. It's a completely normal game.
Hey! You know, our one giant eye.
You think you're great, but you're not.
Usually these things have like weird collision and like don't work. And don't get 2 hits sometimes, but that time it worked pretty well. Alright, I'm going to attempt something next level for a little bit. Try and save some time. Bargain bin skip. Probably the least favourite thing I'm trying to incorporate at the moment. Essentially come up here and jump, do these jumps, jump around this wall and you try and like do a slope jump up. Yeah, you skip the entire level. You could do this level in like 12 seconds optimally. Maybe even like a little bit faster if like, I don't know, something else gets found or whatever. But I'll give this one more try. If not, we'll just do this casually. Alright. That's fine, we'll do it casually. Got close. Alright. Can't even do it casually. I don't know why I flipped that level. Homer's already on this side. It's fun.
It happens, buddy. It happens.
So casually you're just like bringing Bart and Homer to the end as fast as possible. It's just a fast level in general, but yeah, you can just do it in like in such a short period of time. If you get that skip. Yeah, Homer's there. Got a minute and a half to get there. It's pretty free to do this casually. They give you a load of time. Also, if you're wondering who that character is, it's Will Wright. Bit of a meme if you listen to his dialogue. Alright.
This is it. I wish I spent more time cleaning.
Great job, Simpsons. Alright. These levels later in the game take a lot longer. But there's some cool skips to show. Apart from one level, which I'll explain when I get to it. It's the next one, Grand Theft Scratchy. But essentially what we're doing here is using these midget guys to beat up Patty and Selma Dragon. Because why not? At this point, they're like, what is plot? Let's have Patty and Selma double-headed dragon. Yeah, this part's a little slow, but we can get this in 3 stages quite easily. Okay, that was weird. Don't usually end up on top of Patty and Selma, but alright. So this is the boring part of the level out the way. All the Marge stuff is kind of not interesting, but Here we just use Homer Ball, because again, fast. And you can use Homer Ball to like just skip up here and get to the level pretty quickly. And then it's just waiting for Marge. We'll just take out the Mo things while we wait. And then we get into like this overhead POV section. Once you press these buttons, where a lot of enemies spawn, and you're just grabbing keys in this dungeon to like progress.
Now I'm glad you were in all those bar fights. Oh no, the camera's going too. Overhead POV.
Yeah, this is just a perfect example of why having Homerable Homer is so convenient, because you can just speed through this.
Forget it.
Like, imagine having to walk through this with like Marge, be so slow and boring. It's probably dangerous because of all the enemies. Oh, this dragon room is pretty cool. The entrance to the dragon. What we do here is you can just go up here, which isn't quite obvious, and you can get this chili Homer and roll around in Homer Ball. You can destroy all the enemy spawn stuff without taking damage, and makes life a little bit easier. I'll destroy this spawn thing up here, and then I'll switch to Marge, because we're going to be sacrificing some midgets. If she doesn't die. Yeah. Come on. Where are these things? Oh, they're over here. That's so annoying. Go over there. And usually you have to use Maggie to get in, to open this area up and go into the boss room. But there's this little nice clip you can do over here where you just get Marge into a certain position, and she ledge grab her, which is pretty neat. Here's a 2 circle you can do. I'm gonna try and go for it. I'm not sure. I haven't gotten it before, but we'll see if I can get it. I have to wait for how to get here. Is this it? That's the 2 circle. I've never gotten that before. Nice. And she just falls into the lava straight away for some reason. So that's pretty cool. So, Grand Theft Scratchy. The problem with this level is there's like no speedrun tech here. It's just go as fast as you can casually and rebuild buildings. All it is until the end, where there's a couple of niche things. And I'll have to mute audio towards the end, or like music, just because TOS reasons. They decided to put the That's What Friends Are For song into this level. So my dogs are dying. Come on, good. So yeah, I'm just gonna be spamming Marge's megaphone most of the time. Does the most damage. At least his ability doesn't do anything. Get some dogs, rebuild buildings, repeat. Things get more health and stuff, but you have a lot of dogs as well, towards the level. I think you can get like 30 plus dogs or something.
That's pretty awesome. We did just get a £1 donation from Leg. The message is in Russian, but it does translate to "Do you sleep?" I'm not sure if he's referring to the streamer or just the event. But thank you for the donation.
Sometimes I'll say.
What sleep?
Yeah, exactly.
We don't need sleep when we're raising money for charity and playing video games.
Exactly. Gaming. That's all that matters. 24/7 here. Please tell me those dogs are building. Okay, they are. So Marge needs to like break a barrier so we can progress this part. I mean, yeah, this checkpoint here is a problem because the 7 buildings spawns the Buddha hand and like a bunch of other triggers and stuff. There's another Buddha hand that will spawn at 16 and 16, and there's like no other way to like do this level because of those like 2 points where you need to get Lisa's Buddha hand to progress. Which is sad because you can actually get into this area via some like wall jumps and stuff, but it's just pointless. All my dogs are dying. I should probably deal with that. And yeah, Marge says some pretty funny dialogue in this level as well about these dogs. It's such a weird level. Walking dogs and cats and stuff. Fixing buildings and welcome to Grand Theft Scratchy. No wonder Marge wanted to ban the game. Nearly at the point where I have to mute. Essentially when I get into that studio. It'll be the last thing I do here.
Who wants to party with Marge? Raise that slow shack. My turn.
Uniquely, you can use Lisa's Buddha hand to rebuild this building, which is pretty nice. I don't know why they threw it in, but... And there's just a random floating piece of house. So this is where I'm going to just pause real quick and go into audio and turn music off. And we'll turn it back on in Medal of Homer.
Is that because of the DMCA thing, yeah?
Yes.
Right.
It's a little bit quiet, but better than getting DMCA'd.
It definitely is.
That's my puzzle-solving infant. That beautiful melody is burning my ears.
So what we do here is go across this bridge and like freeze these enemies, and you use them to make a path here. This is actually quite hard to figure out casually. I remember recently when I went back to this game, I didn't know you could do this. So like weird going like having to go across the ocean to do something unprompted.
Way to go, Marge.
These bomb things are annoying sometimes.
I tore my torn stocking.
Hopefully I don't die. That'd be quite annoying.
Fight to end video game violence. Literally. How do you like them
That's fine.
friskies? Attention, gangsters. Marge is in charge.
Come on.
I'll pimp the house.
So here we have this like mini game thing where you can drop canisters onto cats going for these trucks, but you can also just bring out the characters and like megaphone them, or you can use Lisa's ability and you can direct the enemies towards each other. A little bit easy to do because those bombs can be quite finicky and you have to like predict their movement. Sometimes they want to dodge. Yeah, this is third wave, should be over in a sec. I think that's the last enemy, so we'll go over here and collect the dogs, because we'll be destroying the concert stage, and then we win. Victory.
Destroy that non-specific thing.
This bomb used to be cool.
I am your human master.
We need constant good.
And onto Medal of Honor. And this is where I'll turn the audio on again. The music. Yeah.
Time to read out a quick donation.
Yeah, you can read our quotations.
Yeah, so we just got a £20 donation from David Bateson, who is the voice actor of Agent 47 and one of the voice actors from the game Light Matter. Thank you for that, much appreciated. There was no message. That's it. So that's our total at £3,435 at the moment.
Nice. Getting close to that 3,500.
We are. I think we can do it by the end of the stream. I have faith in chat.
So this level is collecting white flags. It's to essentially this part of the level is about the French surrendering that. Does not live up in this time we live in, but yeah. Simpsons game's just like, you know what, let's make a level about the French surrendering and make fun of it.
All these Americans show up, and not one of them is Jerry Lewis.
So during this level, there's like 19 set flags, and there'll be 5 like stragglers, like NPCs holding flags, and sometimes the 5th one can be a bit hard to find. These guys do whatever they want.
Everyone else gets up to the morning bells. What's Florence?
Alright, he's over there.
I was kicked out of Times Square because I didn't know
So yeah, a bit of a like, just more of a routing part of the level. You can do some small optimizations and stuff. You can like jump inside the building here. Just some normal stuff we've been doing throughout the run. You can also like jump around the side there, but I don't do that. This part of the level, you won't fight an old gen, but they just decided to add this part of the level where you escort a truck through these cannons and tanks. But if you go ahead and you just destroy everything, you can complete the level pretty fast. Which is good, because having to wait for a truck throughout all this would suck. But my favourite part of this level comes in this last bit, because there's a lot of stuff you can skip. You're climbing up this boat to get to quote-unquote Mr. Burns, except younger and stuff. This game's already hard to explain with the plot, but essentially they've stolen some French paintings, like, and yeah. And you casually get C4 to blow up doors. And Homer sometimes says some funny voice lines. But this time he doesn't. Like, sometime, maybe we should give Maggie some C4 to play with. That's the one. Come on, I can get up here. So we don't use Homer for the rest of the level, as long as we don't get shot by that cannon, which will insta-kill us. Which will be quite unfortunate, which is why I'm jumping around like that. You kick this box, usually a plane would spawn there, you can get up there, but we can skip it just by using that box. And then you can get up here. And then there's this slope jump that you can do, which sometimes I'm good at, sometimes I'm bad at. Okay, that's not too bad. I'll take that. And then you can skip the cutscene with Mr. Burns simply by just jumping and shooting him from there. This is probably the biggest skip in the game coming up. So there's 3 sections usually that you do in this level, and this can like add up to like a very long level quite quickly. Okay, come on. Alright. That comic book guy just owned me. Alright, let's see if I can line this up properly. Nice. So yeah, as you can see, there's like 3 sections: fire, ice, and flying. They have their own section and areas and such that you have to get through. But we only do 1. It's probably the worst one. Worst section that we do. But the skip itself is kind of cool. So what you can do is you can slope jump up here, and you can walk around here. And this is the ice level, we don't do that. You homer ball across, and you jump over this barrier here, and then you activate the trigger to get into the flying level. And here, if I can pause, I'm going to pause again because of DMCA. Because unfortunately, the level music gets DMCA'd. Did I not accept that? I did not. So it's just going to be me killing enemies to no music. Unfortunately, Well, this level's music for some reason it's the MCA.
I am attacking now.
Very cool. The first one with Grand Theft Scratchy kind of makes sense, but this one is a little upsetting. I've never done this level like without any music, so it's very strange for me. Because it's simply like a 4-minute auto scroller, this section.
It's a very hectic and entertaining game now, so I can imagine it's still a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, this is very fun. The speed tech is very interesting. A lot of the stuff's quite easy to do with a bit of practice, but there's just a few tricks which can be a bit hard at times, I'd say. That's a lot of engines off, okay. So I need the engines on in order to go fast. So they impact the speed in which you go up. So to have 2 engines, it's not really that great. Level song's not, like, I'm not a huge fan. It's okay. You also kind of get this Pokemon battle-like thing at the end, which you do at the end of like each level, obviously, but you only do one. So. I've homerballed off the edge. That's not uncommon. Alright, should be a little bit more. Another minute of this, I reckon. I'm really taking on my engines in this one. Alright, you can take that one out, it's fine. I guess I'll camp here then. Yeah. Spawn, because this cloud spawns in this side after you fly up. And then you take on these twins in a very weird Pokemon battle thing. Alright. On to the last 2 levels of the game.
Terry let you win.
I'll reactivate the music when I get into Author. So, who wants Matt Groening as one of the bosses in this game? Very epic.
Let's go.
So we need to take care of these 4 limos to activate the thing to open this gate to the mansion. And then we do this thing where you do part of this like Simpsons thing.
Oh, even his lawn is nicer than mine. Maybe I should try hydro seeding.
Okay. And yeah, you can take on Matt Groening and get Futurama characters in this level as well. Pretty cool.
This mansion is bigger than the inside of...
This place is amazing. I don't know what to break first.
But simply just using grappling hooks efficiently and timeable, and hoping that like the characters don't die, which is a very good possibility. If we get good RNG here, Homer will be on top of the ramp here, which he is not. Sometimes he can get a really fast split here if he does that. I have no idea where Homer is, but he's alive at least. So he can get to the ramp pretty quickly. Oh, he's all the way over here. That's not good. Pretty bad RNG, but you know, at least I have to wait for him to come back. So we've asked that grading, so the only natural thing to do next is fight William Shakespeare. And we just gummy him to death. Gummy Homer is very powerful. Okay, can I hit Shakespeare? Thank you. And then we're just gonna Homer Ball to the end pretty much. Oh, we need other characters for like one more thing. So I'll flip this lever so the other characters can get through. But we're going to do a skip here, which involves... oh. That's not meant to happen. That's fine, we got this. It's not that much slower. I'll show off the skip when I actually get there then. I need to get Marge over here. I need both Marge and Bart. I don't need Lisa for this part. And I didn't activate a lever to get the Simpsons family into the dolphin area, because we're simply going to climb up a tree, and it skips that part. And what's unique about this last level is that you have the whole Simpsons family.
Sandals must be worn at all times in heavenly showers.
Which is pretty unique and cool. I'm just gonna jump Bart over here. Oh, Marge is dead. That's not good. That's annoying. I can revive her, I guess. So hopefully Homer stays alive, I guess. So we do a natural progression with who we fight. After William Shakespeare, we take on Benjamin Franklin. And it doesn't take a genius to figure out who we fight next. We're in heaven, you know. We take on God next. The natural progression of bosses in this game. We love to see it. And we take on God, Didier. 3 rounds of Didier. And time will be when the cutscene starts playing. Also, just in case DMCA, I'll mute this. Usually doesn't result in DMCA, but it does play Rock You Like a Hurricane, and we don't want to take any risks. No rock you like a hurricane today. I'm sorry. It's a sad day.
I'm going to make heaven seem like hell. First original sin, now this.
At least you get to hear the God quotes more clearly. Yeah, this is just D-pad stuff. Not a very interesting end to the game, but you know,
Now you're obsolete.
it's fitting. This game does what it wants.
Great. Way to hurt God's feelings. It's not going to take 6 days to whomp you.
I honor you, old whore, but you are not good at video games.
Okay. Nice, that's time. GG.
GG.
Yeah, that's
On the
the
timer, I have 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 11 seconds.
Yeah, that's not bad. I was running my own timer. I got a 106.20 apparently. So yeah, I'm happy with 106. Okay run. If you want to run this game, it's obviously like Simpsons game Discord. Find it on speedrun.com, a link for it and stuff. Pretty small community, but it'd be this game's pretty fun to speedrun. So it'd be cool to see more people pick it up if you're interested.
That was absolutely brilliant, amazing, like very, very hectic, entertaining, a lot of fun, a lot going on.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you for being here and submitting to FTLG.
Thanks for having me, and good to stream and showcase a run for this fun and good charity and huge donations that you've got them.
Somebody did ask in chat where they can actually get the game.
You can't get it online, but you should be able to like online on like a online store. But if you shop around like your typical eBay marketplace or whatever online websites, Amazon, you could probably find versions of this game somewhere secondhand.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much. Up next, we've got Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice by Rytro, so we'll be up with that very soon.
I should be leaving. Hear what I say without even speaking. My compass is off, why did I choose you? I'm just too lost, I need to cut loose. I keep it in my head, I keep it locked away. My friends think that this is over. Guess it's the price I paid. Played with the enemy, now I got you on my shoulders. Let go and let me love, let me let go and let me love. Let me let go and let me love, let me let go and let me love again. Let go and let me love, let me let go and let me love. Let me let go and let me love again. Let me love again. Let go and let me love, let me let go. Let me love, let me love again. Let go and let me love, let me let go and let me love again. Wanna let go, I wanna lose you. Fall out of love as you're supposed to. This was a phase that I was a mistake, but I can't move on with something in me stays. Let go and let me love, let me let go and let me love. Let me let go and let me love, let me let go and let me love again. Let go and let me love, let me let go and let me love. Let me let go and let me love again. Let me love again. Let go and let me love, let me let go and let me love, let me love again. Let go and let me love, let go and let me love again. Let go and let me love, let me let go and let me love, let me love again. Let go and let me love, let me let go.